What's going on? I'm Spencer Tillis with Burn City Sports. Well, it is NBA trade deadline day, and the deadline has now come and passed. And so let's react a little bit to some of the moves that we saw. It's one of the wildest trade deadlines that we've seen probably in about the last 10, maybe 15 years. 2012 was a pretty wild one as well. But there are a bunch of moves, including a big one with Phoenix. The Suns are finally able to trade Jusuf Nurkic. They're going to send him on over to Charlotte in exchange for Cody Martin and Vasilije Micic. Now, Phoenix is also sending a first-round pick in 2026, and they are getting a second-round pick in that same draft back. But that is a pretty steep price in what essentially is just a salary dump. The good news is they do get that $18 million contract off of the books, and it's not like Nurkic was really helping them out at all. He hasn't played since early January, and it is well documented how awkward and uncomfortable things have gotten between him and the team. At one point, he even said that he hadn't spoken with head coach Bud in nearly 2 months. That ain't great, and this clears the decks and clears the air a little bit. And Cody Martin's a pretty nice piece, and he should be a rotational player for them. But this is far from the deal that Suns fans were hoping that they would make here at the trade deadline. The big one, obviously, everybody was hoping they could find a way to offload and move off of Bradley Beal, but nobody in the league wanted anything to do with that contract. And to their credit, the Suns really tried to make this happen. They made calls for months, but couldn't find anything. And once it became clear that no one was going to make that deal, they moved on to try and make a trade for Kevin Durant. And even reportedly at one point, they had a deal in place. It was a 3-team deal. And in this deal, Kevin Durant was going to head back to the Bay for a little bit of a reunion with the Warriors. Jimmy Butler of the Heat was going to head on over to Phoenix. And Golden State was going to send Andrew Wiggins some draft capital and some of their ancillary pieces on down to Miami. The basic deal was agreed upon, but when they went to KD with it, he said he had no interest in playing in the Warriors, i.e. he was not going to sign an extension there, and pretty much the entire deal just fell apart after that. So where do the Suns go from here? And it doesn't look like very far. They're 500 on the season right now. They're staring down the barrel of either being in the play-in or a first-round team that you don't really see making much of a run. And if that happens, you're going to go into the offseason with all kinds of question marks and concerns around this team and roster. And the biggest one being, it is going to be a contract year for Kevin Durant, which means the full offseason, all we're going to hear about is whether he's going to want to re-sign with Phoenix or demand a trade, and those are the type of problems that Phoenix wants nothing to do with.